Welcome to London, those who've travelled in this morning. My name's Marc Overton. I look after wholesale and machine-to-machine for EE. I'm going to quickly talk about what EE is, because I'm sure not everyone knows about it, if the slides are working. Great. So we are the first 4G operator in the UK. Our announcements, our results out the other day. We've got over 300,000 customers on 4G. It is a digital brand that encompasses a number of other. Just so you know, this is working. A number of other brands that you may have more familiarity with. T-Mobile and Orange, which makes us the largest telecommunications provider in the UK. I think I'm right in saying my parents are in the room, which is always nice. I know Jürgen's here. I don't know if Emmanuel's around. Yeah, no, it's always lovely to be in front of your parents. We're a 50-50 joint venture between the two of the largest European operators, which is a massive strength for us, certainly in machine-to-machine, because it is an international play. And I'll talk about that in a second. In terms of positioning, it is clear that we have a number of opportunities across our branded portfolio range to target different segments, different customers. And we do that through essentially the EE brand representing machine-to-machine, the consumer mobile play, and business to business. T-Mobile on small business and consumer, and the same on Orange. But you know, the real opportunity for us here with EE as a new brand is to redefine the more than mobile side of the smartphone business, and it's a great opportunity to sort of build on what is essentially a sort of new future for mobility. And I've got a small video here that hopefully will play the right one in YouTube that brings that to life.
This is a new beginning for Britain. As the UK's largest communications company with 27 million customers, our vision is to deliver the best network and the best service, so our customers trust us with their digital lives. We're introducing Britain's first ever super fast 4G mobile network, together with a new fibre broadband service. This is on top of the 15 billion we've invested to make the nation's biggest 3G network. To bring this to life, we're introducing EE, an all-new game-changing brand. Sitting beside two of Britain's best-loved brands, Orange and T-Mobile, EE will help people do things they couldn't do before. We call EE the new network for your digital life. We want everything to be simpler and faster than before, so our customers can get the information they need out and about and on the go. So everyone can do more with the tools at their fingertips. We're here to help, with over 15,000 employees and 700 EE stores across the UK. We want to guide everyone through the magic of technology, keeping customers close to the people that matter to them. In the future, we'll be making everyday things easier and ingenious new things possible, building on our exciting new services for the home. This is just the start. There's so much more to come. Now is the time for Digital Britain. With EE, the new network for your digital life. Now, you can.
So you can see the reference there to the smart home, which I know Jürgen's going to talk about. But it does provide, as I said, a brand opportunity for us to move into a completely different world. This clicker doesn't seem to want to work. Right, okay. The network is the fastest rollout of a network in Europe, and by the end of 2014, 98% coverage on 4G. I was in speaking to the Scottish Government day before yesterday, and the only question I got was from the head of the Cairngorms National Park, asking when he's going to get 4G. And I sort of looked at him in disbelief, going, I'm really not entirely convinced the return on investment is, you know, in the middle of the Cairngorms. But you know, really good stuff. Now, getting back to machine, as well as a brand, I talked about the access to the largest global on-net network with our partnerships across Deutsche Telekom, France Telecom. The unique selling point for us is very much the North America, European business. As you can see from the chart there at the bottom, that's our coverage, our on-net coverage in Europe. We're part of the GMA, and I know Jürgen's going to talk about that, I'm sure. And that allows us to give best-in-class service and support. This is a business without borders. It allows a UK-based operator to compete at a global level, especially utilising this massive international network. As well as the machine-to-machine business, I look after the wholesale business, and that encompasses roaming, but also the MVNO business. We are the largest wholesale provider. We have 26 operators on our network, including Virgin Mobile, the largest MVNO, but we've just launched Phones for You, we've got China Telecom, and a whole portfolio of others. And that gives us not just capability, because there's an obvious connection between MVNO capability and machine-to-machine capability, but it gives us a philosophy and an approach to market, which I think is also fundamental. What we're talking about here today, ladies and gentlemen, is very different to normal smartphone telco business. And it does require us as an MNO to work in a much deeper way, not just at a capability level, but at a go-to-market level to provide more complete solutions to certain verticals and sectors. If I was to stand in front of you and say I'm an expert in the health sector, I think you, as well as those health experts, would probably find that a bit strange. And so we are having to partner for all the right reasons to offer more complete solutions to those sectors. For us, it is very much a part of our more than mobile strategy, which our brand absolutely brings to life. I was reading an article the other day about the industrial internet, a third age of the industrial revolution. Well, industrial automation, remote sensing, monitoring of products, real-time information across a whole variety of consumer and enterprise touch points is absolutely what we're embarking on here. And some of these sectors are more obvious than others. And we can talk about those in a second, but we try and boil it down, this third age, into media, medical, money, monitoring, and motoring. And wrapped around all of that is this huge data opportunity that I'm sure is going to be talked about. It is so huge, it's trying to work out what's really relevant and what's we can monetize and what we need to use. I was again at this conference 2 days ago. This the chief scientist for IBM, who's obviously got a brain the size of a planet, literally, has completely connected his home, which looks a little dangerous because there's lots of duct tape and stuff. But his whole house, every single element of his house, is connected, and it feeds into his Twitter feed, along with his car, and along with everything his family are doing. And his Twitter feed is just enormous. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The amount of information he's getting about the fact his garage has just been opened, to the fact that his upstairs bedroom is slightly warmer than his downstairs kitchen, is just amazing. So the information and the ability to get that information is there. How do you monetize it and how do you filter it is obviously going to be the next challenge. The sectors we're focusing on, which I'm sure are generic to everyone, but I think that the thing that I'd like to just give you a little bit of an insight on is which of these are really starting to become more real now, and where's the real value. For us, automotive, the connected car piece, the big international deals, absolutely core to our strategy, as I'm sure it is to most people. The connected car as an environment is very, very exciting. What we're seeing with our partners in the US, through T-Mobile US especially, is some immense amount of data usage and different type of applications being developed around a connected car. The car is an internet hub on the move. 4G LTE allows the car to be a complete, all-encompassing internet node. We are seeing 30 gigabytes a month in some instances of car users in the US. 30 gigabytes a month. How on earth people are doing that? That's an awful lot of high-definition movies, and I am led to believe that the Americans do tend to spend more time in their cars. But that is a really significant part of the M2M equation. accounting for over 90% now of machine-to-machine usage in the US. So you cannot avoid or ignore the connected car. Within the connected car, you have a number of other areas of interest, not just around media. You have the whole breakdown, remote diagnostic piece, the emergency piece, the security piece. You have the insurance piece, not just at an automotive insurance level, and I'll talk about pay-as-you-drive insurance, but also at the medical insurance. It's a great environment to see how stressed you are, how well you are. You're obviously sitting in a seat that can be monitored. And that whole use of real-time information to join up between the various businesses to better target you as a consumer and manage your risk is really interesting. Logistics, the sort of telematics plus space, the whole asset tracking piece. Still, I think a huge amount of growth in there. We're seeing it, but also this whole mass market tracking logistics piece. I'll talk about that in a minute. Connected devices, embedded connectivity in consumer electronics is now becoming far more widespread. And I think part of the challenge with that space has been large consumer electronic companies have been wrestling with doing multiple deals, multiple SIM deployments, different types of technology, different types of business models. I think they're starting to see through that now, and I think we as an operator industry, again working with partners, have started to simplify that. So that some of the really mass market connected consumer electronic deployments are now starting to come through. Retail, smart retail, interactive signage, point of sale, absolutely with 4G, we're seeing a real appetite for that starting to come through, and the sort of backhaul, actually taking out sort of fixed line connectivity and relying much more now on their mobile connectivity. So that, again, that whole piece is really interesting. Utilities, driven primarily by regulation. We're seeing huge deployments going on, and obviously there are big processes. In the UK, there's a big process going on at the moment around that. And then health. Health, I would say, is less obvious right now, more obvious maybe in the developing world than the developed. A lot more vested interest in this space, a lot more difficult regulation. But the wellness piece and keeping people at home longer is definitely an area of interest. I think beyond pure connectivity, and the operators and the aggregators are absolutely well placed off of the connectivity layer. It's around solutions, it's around managed services, and there are people in this room. I was speaking this morning with Julie Cosson from CGI Logica. It is about providing an end-to-end solution for certain verticals, and there are insights in certain markets that you can tap into and tailor by doing so. Using our business channels, our retail footprint, the international piece is obvious. From a corporate perspective, as a carrier, it's about loyalty, retention, having a broader conversation than just pure connectivity and voice and data. It's about becoming part of how they do their business. So it's more value add for both parties, but it's also a retention positive as well. And the high bandwidth tariffing is as I said, 30 gigabytes a month for a connected car. That's a whole different ball game to what we've been used to, and we're going to see that more and more. Just one slide here on our ability or our desire to try and connect America to Europe, not physically, but at least allow business that's coming out of America, which is a more mature machine-to-machine market, landing into Europe. Europe is not a particularly coherent trading entity. I think there are some people who are better placed to make it more coherent, and I would include France Telecom, Deutsche Telekom, and ourselves in that. But at the moment, things like this product where it's one SIM that can connect to the local network and have a local roaming, a local agreement, a local relationship with the operator, is a start of a journey. It's not the complete solution, but it's absolutely going to be more widespread. And we're working with our parents on making that and making Europe a lot more coherent as a trading entity and easy to do business with. Connected car. This is one of the sort of case studies that I've got three sort of insights here in terms of this whole space, which is real business happening right now. Connected car in the UK primarily means it pays to drive insurance right now, to be honest. Couple of dynamics going on here. If you're a parent and you've got teenage children aged sort of 18 to 24, stick your hand up. Anyone? Oh, fantastic. Right, you will know, ladies and gentlemen, that you're probably paying more for your son or daughter's insurance than you are for the car they're driving. A Mini, 3-year-old Mini, for an 18-year-old driver at the moment costs more than a car. It costs in excess of £3,500, £4,000 a year to insure these people. It is illegal to just have them on your own insurance now. So that's a particularly interesting and very real use case of getting these young drivers insured. So there's a number of providers we've been working with to insure those companies to insure young drivers. The gender directive, which has been lauded as great to level the playing field between boys and girls, means that fundamentally girls are now paying 30% more for their insurance premiums. One of our providers has recently relaunched themselves as a website called drivelikeagirl.com. So if you're a girl, or not, and you do drive like a girl, and you put a box in your car, you're getting 30% cheaper insurance premiums on your insurance. And that's generating a lot of traction. It's high ARPU, it's incredibly sticky. Once you've had that experience in the car and that insurance premium, we're seeing 90% retention rates. So this is real product in the market now that people are quite happy to actually have and to use. Smart retail. Bernd from Cumulosity Nokia Siemens Networks here, and he's got a little stand out the back, which I do actually go and talk to him about. Cloud-based service. We've been working with Nokia Siemens for the last 2 years on developing an interactive retail service. Now again, this is quite niche in some respects, but has really tested what I see as a two-sided business model. I think there are massive enterprise benefits to be had here. What is fundamentally, and still really is, a dumb industry. An industry where you need to take your warehouse on an ad hoc basis because you don't know what's being consumed to the vending machine. With connectivity, you now have real-time awareness of what is being sold and what is being used, and you can start on the second side of the business model. You can start to promote products to consumers, and you can do that using contactless payments. You can do it using push advertising, and that relationship, and also the use of Wi-Fi as hotspots in the vending machine, allows the vending machine to be seen much more as a more complete retail point, an interactive retail point along with digital signage that is interesting, that jumps out at you and starts to interact with you. We're seeing this very much so in the hot and cold drink space. I don't know if you've seen the new vending machines that are operating, certainly in petrol forecourts and airports and sort of transport nodes. The partners we're working with, Mass International being one of them, is deploying completely staffless forecourt shops at the moment. So you literally fill your car up with petrol, you go in, you get your coffee, you get your sandwich, and you pay electronically and you leave without speaking or interacting with anyone, which sounds incredibly antisocial, but obviously that interactive retail experience, automated interactive retail experience is definitely an area of focus for the retail industry. So I think very exciting, and obviously a lot of big data coming out of that particular use case. And then the final one, which is around mass market logistics. And again, these are 3 examples of many, but these are real product in the marketplace, real business that is being done. So we have designed and patented a suite of devices. This particular one is a tracking device that's is basically tailored to a container. There are 25 million containers in the world, of which 15 million are known where they are, which gives you a size of the problem. The biggest development in the container space since the 1950s was about 7 or 8 years ago when they designed half a container. So this is not a particularly innovative industry. It's an industry where people have built other industries off the back of being inefficient. The role of the carrier, the freight forwarder, and the retailer is less than obvious. The money is less than obvious. The customer contact is not obvious. And there are scenarios, and I was speaking to Jilly this morning about grapes of all things, which is particularly exciting. I didn't realise that where is Jilly, Brian? I didn't realise, you can tell you all about it, but do you realise that blueberries, shipping blueberries, they're more valuable than grapes? I hadn't fully appreciated that. But a large retailer was struggling with a major shipload of grapes having just arrived in the UK, and apparently the ship's electricity for the containers had failed, and this product, it was they were debating whether the product had been spoiled or not, or what level of spoilage had occurred. With this sort of device that monitors not just whether the container has been opened, but the temperature and the history of where it's been, and also how the product has been handled, if it's been dropped from a great height. That sort of information will allow the retailer to plan as to whether or not that product that arrives in the shop is actually going to be fit for consumption. And the spoilage and the loss side of retail is enormous, especially for perishable products. So, you know, right now at the moment, the only things that we really track on an international trading level are high-value product, and it's bespoke, it's expensive. This sort of mass market product that's based on a smartphone that we all have is based on digital watch battery life that we're now seeing 3 to 5 year battery out of, with much more intelligent RF transmission, not completely dependent on GPS, which drains the battery. So using the cellular network, especially overland. It's not, you know, usually you know where the ship is. If you don't know where the ship is, then you've got some real problems. You know where the ship is. It's actually on land. It's going from the port to the distribution centre, and especially around Europe, because there are different charging models and different pricing agreements in different parts of Europe, that this sort of product comes into its own. So the intelligent freight, intelligent logistics, I know many people in the logistics industry would say that they're doing this. Actually, the scale of the opportunity is enormous. That's it. Thank you very much.